week in VR news, we had some quite interesting announcements, and first off, there has been a controversy surrounding the upcoming Firewall Ultra game. And essentially the controversy was regarding auto-reloading, which is now seemingly to be mostly addressed, with confirmation that there will be a post-launch patch that will introduce something called Ultra Mode, which will add in manual reloading, no aim assist, and friendly fire. And this is all supposedly for pro players, and it will be a specific game mode in addition to the already, the casual game modes that they will have at launch. Now, Meta is continuing their set of layoffs, and this recent set appears to be very troubling for VR gaming enthusiasts because they are actually laying off many of their gaming employees, specifically at Ready at Dawn, which are the Echo VR developers, which is now being shut down. Now, Synth Riders is ending Quest 1 support as of November 1st, 2023, but the game will still be playable on that platform. And interestingly, Myst is also shutting down support for Quest 1 on October 1st. It seems that with Meta ending support for their software updates for Quest 1, that all other game developers are ending support for the platform as well. It's just like pretty much unofficially no more Quest 1 support after 2023. Now, Pico is releasing a new headset called the Pico G3, and it has no positional tracking. This is an entirely business-oriented headset. You know, it looks okay. It's nothing for the consumer. There's no gaming. It's no positional tracking like the Oculus Go, and it is entirely business-oriented, so do not even care about this headset. Now, Vertigo 2, which is probably the best received PCVR game in years, has now confirmed that they have a level editor in development. Now, I personally never played Vertigo 2 yet. It looks so cool though, and to have a level editor would be a complete game changer, I would imagine, because it would add a whole new depth of replayability to the game, because you could just it's just like with Half-Life Alyx, you know, with all those different workshop maps that they have. It would be insane. Now, At the Temple, which came out on PCVR a while back, is having a Quest 2 release on April 27th. This is an interesting game because you actually have to move around your real world. There's no teleportation. There's no, tracking dual stick movement or anything like that. You actually physically move across floating platforms, and you have a whip and stuff. Looks interesting. One to check out. Humanity, which I have absolutely no clue what this game is about, is releasing on PCVR, flatscreen, and PSVR 2 as of May 16th. Now, there is a demo, I believe, available for PSVR 2, so check it out. I have to, because I do not know what this game is. VR Skater is coming to PSVR 2 this summer, and the PCVR version has been available for a little bit now on Steam via early access. This looks very interesting. I love skater games. You know, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2 on the Xbox is a personal favorite of mine, and Skate 3. So to see a VR version of that, tried and true formula is so interesting to me, especially since there's no real leg tracking in VR. There have been some early reviews on it, like some hands-on and stuff, and reportedly it sounds very difficult to master and learn. There's a pretty steep learning curve, but it also sounds very fun and exciting. Battle Talent, which is a VR sword fighting physics-based game. It's supposed to be very challenging, and that's launching June 1st on the Quest 2. Somewhat, just think of Blade and Sorcery, for example. Walkabout Mini Golf, one of my personal favorite VR games of all time, has just launched a new course for $4, and that is Temple At Zerzura, I believe. I'm not totally sure how to pronounce it. It's sort of an Egyptian pyramid temple exploration kind of thing. It's really cool. Think of Indiana Jones and stuff. It's pretty amazing. I've played both the daytime and nighttime of this course already, and it's a lot of fun. They just keep getting better and better at these courses. One game I am super excited for is another Fisherman's Tale. I played Fisherman's Tale originally on the Quest 2, and I loved it, so I cannot wait to play this new one, and it's launching actually May 11th. And there have been a lot of hands-on previews of it and stuff from various VR YouTubers and news websites, and it seems really good. The game itself looks awesome. There's a lot of unique puzzling mechanics in here, and it looks like a great game for VR beginners and VR veterans. And this is again coming to Quest 2, PSVR 2, and Steam, so you can take your pick on which platform you want. Red Matter 2, which came out on Quest 2, I believe, last year, is officially getting a PSVR 2 release very soon, according to the developers, and it's actually going to have 4K textures, foveated rendering, and this is obviously the most important part, 120 FPS, no reprojection. I don't believe we've actually ever seen 120 frames, no reprojection on the PSVR 2, so I'm ecstatic for this. It's going to be so fluid, I imagine. It's going to really take advantage of the PSVR 2, and Red Matter 2 has always been one of those games on the Quest 2 that looks great. It's one of the few games that really pushes the hardware to its limits and has always been a staple of the headset. So to see it going to PSVR 2, seemingly able to utilize all the features, all the capabilities of the PS5 and the PSVR 2 is great. Now this is something I was very skeptical on, but the more I hear about it, the more excited I get, and that is Apple's supposed VR, AR, XR headset. Now, a little while back, there was supposed to be some insider who tested the headset and was supposed to be mind blown. But now we have details, supposedly, about the various apps and services and games that will be coming to the platform on launch. Now, apparently, Apple is incredibly focused on getting these games, experiences, whatever you want to call them, ready at launch. And so a few of them are a version of like its freeform collaboration app, letting users draw on virtual whiteboards together, which Apple reportedly sees as a major selling point, a VR meditation app with calming graphics, sounds, and voiceovers, a VR version of Fitness Plus with an instructor in VR, similar to like Supernatural, I suppose, a VR sports service to watch sports in an immersive way, leveraging its next VR acquisition, which I remember hearing about a long time ago and wondering what they were really going to do with that, so it really is coming full circle here. And finally, for me, the most exciting is a VR version of Apple Books. That would be so cool to be in your own virtual library. I'm honestly very excited to see how this headset will perform in the current VR market, and honestly how it will change it, because Apple, as of late, has not been one to innovate, and I'm really hoping that changes with this headset. On the news of new headsets from large companies is the new Valve headset, which is seemingly confirmed yet again in another translated interview. This is probably going to be very similar to a Steam Deck, but for VR, where it is like a hybrid but is capable of playing Steam VR games natively and portably. This would be a complete game changer, because the biggest issue with the Quest 2 is really two things at the moment, and that is graphics and games, because there really aren't enough games, and the graphics of the headset really can't support larger games. But if Valve has a way to create a portable VR headset with the capabilities of playing its already vast library of Steam VR titles, it would completely change a lot of VR. And then finally, we have some Quest 2 releases this week, and right off the bat, we have Tennis League VR for $20, currently sitting at a 4.8 based off of 9 ratings. This looks like a pretty fun game, to be honest. I love tennis in VR, so that would be pretty cool. And then Shaven Stuff officially launched on the Quest platform before it was available on App Lab, and that is $15 at a 4.4 based off 429 ratings. And then finally, we have a Medieval VR for $20, which is sitting at a 4.9 based off 30 ratings. This is based off the flat screen version of the game, and it's supposed to be pretty good, for all things considered. Like, I've heard some really positive things about this game, so take a look at it, see if it's your cup of tea. And then last, and probably least, we have Afterlife VR, which actually launched on the PSVR 2 this past week. It's $15, and from what I've seen, it's not very good. You know, take that with a grain of salt. I've never played it personally. I've only seen the glimpses of a trailer and glimpses of gameplay, but I have seen some reviews on it. Apparently not very good at all.